Alright, hello. Second stream after getting sick and getting back onto the grind of things. Alright, so let's try to get this party started. We're gonna do a little bit of programming today. Nothing structured. Just me playing with some React Native native base. This nice pre-built UI framework for us to use. That's gonna be good. And then if we make some good progress, I got some ideas what to do with the UI. So hopefully things go smoothly, no major hiccups, and we get the ball rolling on stuff. Alright, so first things first is let's create our project. So, I was reading up a little bit, haven't done anything yet. But let's do stuff. Okay. So the first things first is we need to make our project. Ooh. Trying a new keyboard. Or a quieter keyboard at least, so you don't have to hear my mechanical keyboard just clacking away. Okay, so first things first is we do React Native init, and we're gonna call this Twitch dashboard. Dashboard. We'll call it dashboard app. Alright, so this should go through and start building out our project. And then, so after it builds it out, the next steps we have to do is we have to go into the project, and then we have to install native base. So I didn't do this yet either, so I'll do that right after. Downloading everything takes a little bit. Just make sure we have everything up and running. Okay, I'll minimize that. Like we're good. Alright. Almost there. Alright, so now we are building. Maybe I should do this at a time. Hey, Nix. Lurking. What's up, man? Oh, Pixie 2, you lurking too. Hey, how's it going? How's the weekend so far? Wow, this is taking a lot longer than before. Let's see. I wonder if it's because it's a new version, new build. Anyway. Ooh, watching a movie. What movie? Lord of the Rings? Oh. What type of work were you planning on doing next? I remember you mentioning, Pixie, that you were listening to the soundtrack and it got you all hyped up for watching the movie again. Which movie are, 1, 2, or 3? We're almost there, folks. Almost done. Takes a little bit to build an application. The first one? The first one's really good. So you want to work on your bot? Yeah, I wanted to do a bunch of different stuff, and I decided that instead of, I don't know if this is the same problem with Unix, but like you have so many ideas on in your head that like you want to do them all, but you don't know which order to do them in. Like you want to do this, and then you start doing it, and then like you think about another idea and you look it up online, and then you start doing that a little bit, and then like you just get derailed because like you're just like all over the place with your thoughts. So you took a break from wanting to play Overwatch. Oh my god. Hopefully those are fun games and not too stressful. Yeah. I write down my ideas too, but I don't know. Okay, so my idea is I want to do stuff with Twitch. So since I'm going to TwitchCon, I want to build stuff with Twitch. So then I was like, oh, let me go set up my server. Ooh, you want both, Pixie? But yeah, like I'm like, okay, let me set up a server. And like, oh wait, I don't need a server. Okay, let me try just playing with the API. Okay, I have the API. Now how do I want to use the API? So a bunch of random stuff. So I decided like, hey, let me just go back to React, and I'm just gonna use native base and just like build like an example thing. Were you doing quick play, Pixie, or you don't really like the free for all, huh? Yeah, really hard to prioritize your especially when it's like you yourself. I mean, I can prioritize things at work like nothing, but at home on my own stuff, it's just so hard. Okay, so the next thing we do is we need to install native base for our application. Yeah. Free for all can be fun sometimes, or like actually, well, I have a lot of fun most of the time. It's real. Sometimes it just gets really annoying when people are all just like McCree and tracers and hogs. It's like try some heroes with a little bit more skill, a little bit more. How about making things a little bit more challenging on yourself when you're playing free for all? Because I like to try unorthodox heroes usually. Okay, so we installed the native base code for our application. Let's go in here and do this link setup so it can link with the native libraries, just some extra stuff. Okay. Okay, cool. So we have everything built. Let's open up our code in an editor. And then what we can do is we can try launching it. So let's see. All we have to do is React Native run Android. I always forget the command. What's up with all these? Close that. Close that. Get rid of this. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's get our pre-built application up and running and installed on our emulator. Okay, back out of this. Okay, I know. I was shelled into the bash. So Twitch. What do you guys plan for the weekends after this? Oops. Yes. Okay. Relaunch that. And then get this going. Now let's just make sure our app builds. So far, so good. Okay, close that, close that. Get rid of that. Android and iOS. I am going to make a new folder in here. Let's see. There it is. Oops. Okay. I'm just going to call it app. Okay. And then while this builds, let's take a peek at what we're gonna do next. So they give it, so native base is what I like to call kind of like a UI framework. I don't know, UI components for React Native. Unable to load script index Android bundle. Make sure your bundle is packaged correctly or running package server. Okay, what's going on here? Interesting. I think the packager failed. Run Android. Let's restart the packager. I think that's what's missing here. Okay, so the packager is ready. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Let's do this. Actually, let's do yarn. I think I screwed things up with with the build configuration because I was building this using the Bash emulator and not within Windows command line and then DOS. So let's dismiss that for now. There's our app. And nothing there yet. Okay. So let's restart the packager. And hope, and fingers crossed we don't get some weird error. All right. Looks like we're in the clear. Now, fingers crossed that it actually builds. All right. So while that's going on, let's So we have a general scaffolding of what this is supposed to look like, of what we're building out here. So this is going to be nice because this is going to make our application look way nicer than the garbage I was building before. Because, you know, the other way when I was building React Native applications, I had to like style it myself, and I have horrible design sense, so. So luckily I can just copy and paste this stuff. Here we go. Okay, so our app built. Hey. So it says welcome to React Native, Android, all that good stuff. So what I'm gonna do is enable hot reloading. And this will allow this to refresh as I make the code changes. So instead of all of this stuff, what I'm gonna do is I am going to replace it with this other stuff. What the hell happened here? Okay. Take all this. I don't want to replace everything. So copy that. And then put this on it. And then we are going to, oops, damn it. Okay. I'm fumbling here, guys. I'm fumbling. Paste. So we pasted in the example code they have. We will copy in this line right here that kind of imports all the nice stuff that we want from native base. And we are going to put that on this line below. Okay. So duplicate declaration of text. So we don't need this, this, or this anymore. Let's reload. Unable to symbolically stack trace. Here we go. We got some errors here. And then we forgot to delete this guy over here because that's looking for code that doesn't exist anymore. Alright, so what's next here? Duplicate declaration text. Let's reload the whole application. And here we go. We copied and pasted the example, and now we have this really nice looking section. Now we have this really nice looking app layout so far. That's really cool. So we can go in here and swap out this. I'm going to call this the Twitch dashboard. Ooh, and you see an updater right there. Cool. And then we have a footer section, but I don't think we need anything in the footer. Right now they put in a button. But what happens if I delete this? So we'll get rid of that. And get rid of that. So it still gives me a footer. If I absolutely don't want a footer. Boom. Okay, so now it's gone. Alright. So the app idea I have for Twitch is kind of making a Twitch dashboard app on your phone. So I don't know, just a Twitch app in general that kind of like you can look at stuff. I want to play with the API. So the first thing I want to do is I don't know, look at who I follow. That's a simple one. So the first thing, in order to look at who you're following, at least UI wise, I'm gonna not worry about fetching the data yet, but you know, when you open the app, you're gonna get a list. So let's take a look at how lists are done here and see what we can reuse. So they have something called cards. So card is a pure named component. Card is a flexible and extensible content container. It contains options for headers, footers, and a wide variety of content, contextual background colors, graphical display options. Database cards support a wide variety of content, including images, text, lists, links, and more. Mix and match multiple content types and create the card you need. Okay. So let's see. So this is a card with the header and a footer. Let's see. Here's a card list. So it has a list of different stuff. Alright. A card image. So that looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like you know, social network-y type thing. If you want to have something more with card lists, include a card item within the card along with the text before and after the image to create a card list. This looks pretty cool. And then a card showcase. Card showcase is for the customization of the card image. It uses several different items. It makes use of the left, body, and right components to align the content of your card header. So these are cards, and then I saw also when I was perusing the documentation that they had lists, and these are just standard lists that you see on any app. And let's see what type of lists they have. They have divider lists, list icon. They have list avatars, list thumbnails. So I guess the question is when if you open up the app and you want to see, like, let's say you're looking at the people you follow, do you want to see a list view with little thumbnails and kind of like the short description, or do we want to go with like kind of like big and beautiful, like these big cards with like I don't know, like just like maybe if they're live, like it has like the preview of what they're playing, an image of what's going of them live, like a snapshot of what they're playing, you know, kind of like when you look at the website, when you look at Twitch, when you look at the Twitch website. I guess we can just play around with it and see how things go. Also, let's see. Let's just go scroll up and down real quick and see what's going on. Oops. That was a pretty big click section. Alright, so the general syntax for a card is you have a card item, body, and text inside of it. The card is the component, adds a box shadow, so that's the outer edge right here. It also provides default spacing, okay? A card item, this is the child component of a card, so what's inside it, I guess. Works very similar to list items of a list. Takes input such as text, images, buttons, and such. Card takes any number of card items. Okay. React Native View for card, replacing components. React Native View for card, touch opacity for card item. So you can, let's see, you can render row. Figuring the card item, header, card body, footer, button, border. Alright, so let's see if we can make a pretty cool looking card then. let's go with this card item right here. So we'll copy and paste this card into our body. So we should see this update when we save it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to input our card. Let's make sure this is nice and indented in for formatting. Okay, so we have a card, but we need to include in the items to import, because in React we have these pre-built components, and it won't know how to build these components until we tell it where to find the code for the component. What's up, John Paul? React Native, something new? Yeah, I would say it is. I don't know. It's fairly new within the past like year or two. It's just a roll off of React itself. They added the ability to compile React components into native code, into native iOS or Android code. So it's definitely a big benefit. It's definitely a perk to knowing React. You can play with React at a mobile level. Okay, so this error makes sense as I saved it, and it doesn't know about card, and it's not going to know about card item either. So if we import card and I save it, it's going to probably complain about card item. So yeah, so the next step is import card item. How's it going, John Paul? How's your day? How's your weekend been so far? All right, so we have thumbnail. Next. And then, ooh, we also have image. Hey, SHM Morcho, if I said that right. And yeah, I've used Java. When I went to university, they taught us most of the curriculum in Java, and then I spent 2 years out of college doing Java application development, and then after that I stopped doing Java. I've been doing other programming languages since. So element type is invalid. Expected a string in components or a class of components. So this is incorrectly structured right here. So we have our header, and this is supposed to be our content, not our body. I would say if you already know Java and stuff like that, it's, you know, obviously building it natively and using Java is the most optimal way, because, you know, you don't have to deal with any sort of middleware or any sort of like translation and stuff like that. It's going to be the most performant. The one upside to trying to build using React Native is that React Native lets you at least build something cross-platform very easily. So instead of trying to use like Cordova or these other like frameworks that just let you do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and just stick it in a web view, this lets you build cross-platform, and it actually compiles down to, or most of the code compiles down to a native, to natively, and it reduces the need for you know, for web views. Although there is the ability to build all this stuff and just use web view. If that makes sense. Okay. So, I think this guy, go delete this guy. What's going on? Okay, so I totally effed up this copy and paste in there. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Let's see. Get rid of all of this. And do what I did. Take this card code. Delete. X that out. And then stick that in here. That's where I screwed things up. Reformat that. Yeah, for iOS and Android, you'll still need to install or be on the system so you can compile it into the native code. So like, you know, that's why I'm doing this in Android on my Windows machine, because I don't have access to the you know I don't have access to the iOS build stuff. But you could use third-party services like Expo that allow you to build your app natively for iOS if you're developing on a Windows device. All right, and then I gotta fix this over here. I'm just gonna put in hello. Alright, everything's really fucked now. I was not paying attention, I totally fucked things up. Let's undo everything that we just did. Yeah, a native app will definitely be a bit faster than React Native. Just because of the nature of the beast. You know, you're building it using all the native component, using the JavaScript framework, using the SDK and all that type of stuff. Although React Native is still quicker than trying to build it using the other type of system, although the other cross-platform tools. One of the touted benefits for doing React Native is that if you could take a web app, code that you've written in React on your website, and you can port that over into React Native and use that, and vice versa. You can take something that you've built in React Native and launch it onto a website. So if you built an app and you wanted to offer an accessibility to your services through the website, you can just plop all the code that you've written for React Native onto your web server, and it would run. And that's the benefit for that. I'm not sure if it's actually convenient or not to actually do that. Paste that in. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this content again and copy this card. Copy that. And paste that. And alright, so what is going on now? Yeah, yeah. So you could, if you wanted to make a web app, yeah, you just could do it in vanilla JavaScript, but it'll be extremely hard. But you can use framework, you can use Angular, which is pretty full featured, and by the way, thanks for the follow. But yeah, you can use Angular, you can use JavaScript, you can use vanilla JavaScript, you can use React. So the major players on the market, if you wanted to make a single page web app, is Angular, React, and Ember. Those are the three big ones. And then an up and coming one that's for the Vue layer is Vue.js, and React is technically in the Vue layer also. And then you add in extra JavaScript modules and stuff to support it and make it full featured. But Angular and Ember are the ones that offer like a full MVC framework for you to use. But because of that, they're more, I guess, complex. Okay. I don't know why this is keeping on freaking failing. Copy. We're just gonna take all of this content and paste. Okay, save. Reload. Wow, okay. Or just take the entire container then. Alright, reload. Invalid. Expected a string. Yeah, if you wanted to spool up a full featured web app with that interfaces with your API, with your backend APIs and all that type of stuff, and handles like rendering and stuff like that, I would say Angular will get you going quick. Yeah, if you wanted to build something quick, I would probably recommend Angular to be the best one because it's full featured for everything you would need. Element type is invalid. Expected a string built into points. Here, let's do this. Yeah, and I haven't used Elixir, but I know one of the teams that I worked with before used Elixir for fast concurrency. It was pretty. It seemed pretty cool, and I took a look at it, and it had like a really good, framework going on to make things extremely simple. So that seemed really cool. Did you learn Elixir on the job, or was it for your own personal project? There we go. Final fucking name, man. God damn it. Alright. So we have our card finally up and viewing. So what can we do with this? Like dimensions are all wonky on this thing, but whatever. We can fix this up. So I said that I kind of wanted to do this, use the Twitch API stuff to try to display your followers. So let's look at, I was playing with the Twitch API earlier, and I did some requests so we can kind of like fill in some data that we would likely see. Okay, so you're still in school. Cool. What do you what degree are you studying for? All right. So people that follow. So people that the user follows. People get currently live users. So, oh, in high school. Okay, cool. What programming languages are you familiar with? Okay, so right here, so earlier today, I was playing with the new Twitch API. It doesn't have a lot of endpoints yet, but I was playing with it, so I was using this utility to do some simple requests. So I did a request to api.twitch.tv/helix, which is their new API path. And then I'm asking for who's streaming. So for when you're doing fetches for who's streaming, you just pass it, you can pass it an array, multiple user IDs, and then I put, the type as live, and it'll give you back who's streaming. So one user ID is me and another one is someone I followed. And you can see I got back in this payload me. So because I'm live, so I get all this metadata information. Okay, wow, that's pretty intense for you to be using Elixir and stuff like that for a school project. Is it part of your what class is it for? Cool. So when we get the payload back of who's live, we can see, various information, game IDs, user ID, whether the type that they're live. I filter for live, so we're only going to get a type of live. We get the title of the stream, the current viewer count, and then a thumbnail to preview. So I want to take this thumbnail and use it. So I'm going to try to copy this thumbnail. And fill it in. Close that out. Some JavaScript and some knowledge in other languages as well. Cool. Yeah, I would suggest taking a little bit deeper dive, taking a deeper dive in JavaScript, just because a lot of companies are, in one way or another, using JavaScript for something. So that'd be good to dive into some more. And JavaScript is constantly changing every year, so it'll be good to brush up on anything new, any new standardizations that are coming out. Okay, so URI. So it looks like, with the card for the image, we pass in the source. So I am going to copy in this guy, and let's see. The height is 200, so I'm going to say a height of 200. And a width of, I don't know, let's just say 400. Save that and see what happens. And look, we have a preview image of the stream right now. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, Elixir's pretty cool for the concurrency and stuff like that. If you want another, I don't know if you've heard of this one, but if you want another quick way to spool up a website and stuff like that and have like the whole MVC framework and stuff like that is Ruby on Rails. I'm pretty sure you might have heard of it, but that will get you up and running. And Elixir and Ruby on Rails, was it Elixir? Yeah, Elixir and Ruby on Rails share the same type of design paradigm with the APIs that they have for building the and developing in it. No, I have not used ImageMapster. Okay, so we get the card. So let's say that this is me. So I'll type in my name. Fair enough. Okay, so will there need to be any subtext notes if we wanted to do this? I guess the title. Let's see how that looks. I don't know how I feel about that. That's supposed to be a little icon right here. I don't know if there's any value trying to do that with Twitch streaming stuff, so I am going to delete that, re-indent that, and see how that looks. Yeah, I'm working for a company. It's a company that serves mobile, that does ad serving for mobile devices. Those annoying banner ads you get in and free apps that they do the whole infrastructure for serving up ads to those that you see. Let's see. Card item. Card body, let's see. Oh, this is what's taking up all the space right here. There we go. And then what other information can we get from here? We have the viewer count. So we can be like it's interesting. I mean, the technology for it is extremely interesting. Like, if you think about it, you know, because you have fast requests coming in and that type of stuff. So the technology is awesome. What you're doing is pretty annoying, but the technology involved in it is pretty damn cool. So let's see. So we would say like for viewers. And then let's see. They have this iconography. So let's try to look at the iconography. Icons. No, Google is definitely kind of sort of a competitor. Our system also uses Google to do ad serving. So because Google has, you know, an ad serving service, so in order to, so you as an advertiser can register ads to Google, and then Google will serve them up within their ad framework, their ad serving system. But then we have our own ad serving system that we can serve ads through, or if we can't serve that ad, then we can buy ad space through other ad service companies, you know, because through ad service companies, and like it can show up on multiple other devices, but you know, I guess it's technically more expensive to do that because you're kind of like renting space or buying space in someone else's, you know, ad little platform area. Yeah, it's an interesting what do you call it? Yeah, it's like an interesting flow. It's like super complicated. Even I don't fully understand it. So perfect crisp at high definition. The React Native vector icons. Okay, so let's look at this list of React Native vector icons. Okay, here we go. The platform's using multiple different languages. It just depends. The ad servicing portion of it that actually handles the requests and response and stuff like that is written in Go, because, you know, it needs to be fast. So they decided to go with Go. But there's other portions of it that are written in other languages, you know, because, you know, there's data storage, analytics, so you have to do things with Hadoop and Java. There's some internal stuff like dashboards and stuff like that, and that's actually built on Rails. So there's like multiple different technologies all over the place. Let me think. The app that's written in Go does use machine learning. I have no context of what they're doing, but yeah, they're written in machine learning. I don't know what they're learning though. All right, so what would be a good, how about user, like user, okay. This would be good for users, funnels. And then the thumbs up. Let's check that one out. All right. Let's see what chat bubbles is. So icon. Okay, so we can't filter for that one alone. Let's go to it then. So it'll just be people. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for stopping by, man. Come by anytime. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that's good. Let's see. We don't care about that. And then because of the API we have started at, so we can say How long have we been live for? I can say like live for 30. Live for 30 minutes. Let's see about the iconography again. Warnings, ads, live, record, video cam. Okay, so we use video cam. So what we can do is we'll do this, where we'll take this guy right here and paste him in here. And then you can say, so this icon is called video cam. Let's take a look. All right. So that's pretty, it must be the way that, because it's overflowing, so it has to be the way things are laid out here. Buttons, cards, checkboxes, tabs, forms, layout. Let's see, layout is system is essential. Great database, here comes Flexbox. Let's see, so database provides container, header, footer, header, content. Hey, what's up? Easier TV? I'm horrible with names, by the way, so. Easier TV. How's it going, man? To the action sheet. Desire. Just hanging out. I'm doing good. Yeah, just I guess I don't know, I'm coding but kind of relax and just chill. Just take it chill. What are you about to tackle? Typography. What's toast? Oh, okay. Oh, you can do a circular thumbnail. Okay. All right. Ooh, a Discord bot. Very nice. What type of is this your first Discord bot, or have you done built one before? I guess I'm gonna switch this to body. Container. Oh, you've Twitch bot before? Yeah, it's pretty cool. What's your idea this time for your Discord bot? Why is this overflowing? I guess I need to somehow... Okay, so I guess it makes sense why it's overflowing. I need to adjust the positioning for this. I wonder if I wrap this in a button, if it'll fix it. I'm just curious. This is a pure experiment. Oops. Got a button. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I getcha. That's cool. You just want to play with something. Yeah, you can just make a simple, silly bot that does memes or something like that for you. I know you can try to like do if you have like Slack or Discord or HipChat, you can try to like make one of those type of bots that like look up GIFs or something like that for you. You just like, you just type in like a phrase and it'll look up a GIF for you off of Giphy Cat or something like that. You can try to do something simple like that and then inject it into the chat. Yeah, but making a Discord bot is definitely on my bucket list of things to do. Just learning and testing right now, nice. Yeah, I decided to. So I mean, I've been learning React Native on stream, but I'll be going to TwitchCon, and I managed to get. If you didn't know already, TwitchCon at TwitchCon they're holding their first ever developer day. Oh, it did. And probably the connection went kind of crappy for a second or something. But yeah, I'll be going to TwitchCon, and at TwitchCon they're holding a developer day on the day before TwitchCon. So I'll be going to that along with TwitchCon. So I decided that hey, I'm gonna try to do I'm gonna play with the Twitch API and try to do some stuff and try to combine it with React Native and mesh it together. So right now I'm just playing with UI ideas on achieving that. Yep. Okay, so I have a card. Let's see. So if we were gonna make a card list, so I only have one card, but let's say, interesting. Let me see. Yeah, let's see. Let me try listening to it also. Let's mute this so I can hear. Alright, let's see. crackly still? Really weird. Okay, just shaking this a little bit. Yeah, let me increase this volume. Alright. Yeah, nothing stands out. Yeah, let me know if it gets annoying. Try to do something about it. Maybe I just went over. Let me see. I'm gonna reduce the gain on this. Maybe I'm just getting too loud, and that's why it's crackling. Okay. And let's bring back the music. Okay. How's that? Okay. Yeah, let me just reduce the gain just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think if I speak too loudly into the mic, that's what's triggering it. Interesting. I haven't had that issue before. Alright, well, I'll try to keep an eye on it and like actually let me see if I can hear it. I think if I speak too loudly into the mic, that's what's triggering it. Interesting. Darn. Alright, I'll have to go back and debug it later. Let's see. It happened about an hour and 9 minutes into the stream. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't get too annoying. Okay. Okay, so if you're going to do multiple list items for a card, so include a card as sequentially with the card you created. Creating card lists. Okay, interesting. So if well, this is technically a card list. So if I do multiple cards, what's gonna happen? A couple of these. Okay, cool. Alright, so if I throw in a couple, it'll just sculpt them. That's pretty cool. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and try making this a little bit cleaner. Yeah. What the goal is going to be is we are going to make a new file, and we'll call this live users .js. Okay. just borrow this code. Okay, for some reason my select all isn't working. Now let's paste this in. What we're gonna do is get rid of this. And get rid of that. Okay, so this is our let's create a new folder called components. Okay. And then we're gonna get rid of a lot of this stuff here because we only need one card. So what this component is going to do is it's going to be solely dedicated to rendering out a card for us. We don't need container, we need header. So then now we're going to import our I guess we can KL this live user card. How about that? I'll rename it to live user. So it'll be a single card. Live user. From app. Components. Live user card. And then to test this out, we will render it. So live user card. Oops. And there we go. So now we have a live user card. Very cool. So what are we gonna tackle next? Now we want to do this. We want to display multiple live users, right? So we can, so what we can do is we can iterate on this. So give me a second here. So let's see, I guess first we'll mock it out and then we'll attempt to actually try to fetch information from the API endpoint. So take this and paste it in here. Return. So we have a let users. And for now, what we'll do is we will inject it in. And we'll return back to users. And then over here, what we'll do is we will try to build live users. Wait a minute. Ooh, what the heck? A variable build live users. sense. Oops. Let's reset the picture. Reload. Okay. I reload. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we have a method that's going to build our lab users for us. Alright, so let's take it up a notch and try to fetch the information from the API. So let's take a peek at the Twitch API again and see what we can do. Let's Twitch API. Okay, so data models, rate limit, webhooks, authentication. References. Get streams. Get information about active streams. Response JSON data pagination. So the problem here is that when you get a stream, you have to specify either you can just get all generically live people based off of the accounts, but if you want to do it at a personal level, if I only wanted to see what I wanted to, the people that are streaming, I need to provide the user IDs for that, user IDs or the logins for that. But in order to do that, I need to make another request to get Alright, so we can try to just fetch who's live first and work with that, and then go from there. We'll start small. So, in order to do that, we need to we can use fetch command for the fetch method to do an API request for a method, get method. And then get the response. So let's do that. So fetch live users. So we're going to use the fetch command. But this is an async, so this is going to be an async command. As it's an asynchronous call, all requests need to be async. So take a couple steps back as you hear me start to hum. Okay. Take a couple steps back. So when I lose control, get current live users. What we can do is we can get the code for it. Let's see if the JavaScript here is generated nicely. So here's our URL. So what our URL is doing is we're making a request to the Twitch API, asking for streams, and then we have to specify user IDs of the users when they want to know whether they're streaming or not. And I filtered it for live because a Twitch streamer or a Twitch user can either be live or they can be doing like broadcast, since it's everything broadcast. It's a get method, and we have to provide some header information. Tell it which app is running this request. Delete that stuff. And then, so now we have our fetch. Our fetch called the wait to pause for a second there. And what we can do is we can, for now, alert on the response. Text. I think that's what he's doing right here. He does another await for the results. Okay. Let's actually And then we'll alert the result. Sounds good. Okay. So then we should call this during one of the lifecycle methods. We'll call it during component did mount, I think is the lifecycle method. Let's look it up real quick. React lifecycle. So after it did mount, we're gonna fetch the information from the users or from Twitch client. Let's do a reload and cross our fingers. Fetch this dot fetch users. And reload. Object to object. Okay, so it worked. We got something back. Let's see what we have to do to show it. Let's look up the fetch docs then, just to be 100% sure. So JavaScript. Fetch. And redirect. So it returns a promise. As text result. That text, it should have printed that out. Alright, what we can do is we can set I guess what we can do is we can do this dot state dot result. Yeah, we'll do this dot state dot result. Constructor. Constructor always has to call the super. This dot state equals nothing yet. This is complaining we need to wrap this in a text component. Because all text displayed in React has to be wrapped in some sort of component. And then what we do next is instead of alerting this set state, I guess I'll just do it as a, don't get fancier. We're going to set the result to be equal to the results. So then when I reload, the promise rejection, right? So the result we got back did not like it. Oh, we got the response. So it does it request, it gets a response back, and then what happens next is that it does a fetch. Fetch response. Take the response. And we gotta call await. That's what's going on, huh? There it is. Got what we need. So we got payload back with some data. And all the information that we wanted inside the data field. Reload again. Let's see. Okay, so we got it back as text. What happens is it takes the response string, reads it as completion, returns it prompts it like those. Let's see. The body text as JSON. So this is what we want. We get it back. Do something for your data with your data. So that's that JSON, and then you start parsing through it. So what we can do is we can say we can start piecing through this information. So the way we get, so when Twitch responds back with the information we need, it returns it back in a data field. And then we can iterate through. So the first thing we know is we know how many people are live. So we can alert and say who's live. And music posting inside chat is a little too noisy. I think I can change that in here. That's nice, yeah. Since I have that plugin at the bottom now, I don't need that. Yeah, okay, so that's the same error. So we can do stuff like this. Now that we know that fetch live users, so we could say the data, so if we get the length of data, we know how many users are actually live, so if we say, so we can test this out by going here, reload, 1, okay, that makes sense. And then we can start going through more of this information, and then so we can say the live count. We can, and then we can say, I guess we don't have to say live count if it has any users anyway. So users. So result dot data gives us the live users. So I think they should still air out the JSON object. Oh, yeah, we can just say live users. Makes sense. Never mind. They fetch users. So after we fetch the live users, fetch live users, and then after we fetch live users, actually, we should do that. Okay, so the flow goes is when the view renders, we get the live users, and we inject them into the page. So after we get the live users, what we really want to do is we want to build live users. And what we want to pass in is the information result. Build that data into build live users. And then what we do now is I want to iterate through this. So for users, yeah, I think it's set to not publish songs that are playing. All settings. And that's what's playing in the chat. That's what's playing. Oh. Weird. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be an array for each user. we're going to want to push it into our array. This is users, this is user list, user list, user list. And this is going to be fetching this dot user cards. Okay, so we're building live users for each user card. We're pushing in live user, adding a new live user. We're not using the metadata yet. We're just using that templated out thing. And then instead of returning, what we're gonna do is we're gonna is.set state. User cards, and we're going to set it to user list. Reload. Build live users. I keep on forgetting to do that. Component will mount. Let's go look at that example in the book. State of results export date on load. So we get it, and we set the state on the render method. That makes a lot of sense now. So if I reload, boom, okay. So what type of information do we, so what we need now is we need prop types. So import prop types from. So now our goal is to start allowing the customization of these cards. So make sure we're not breaking anything. And now we're importing in prop types. So now we're going to be accepting in items into here. So So what are we going to be accepting in? We're going to be accepting in an image URL. Image URL. Let's see. Hold on. Let's look at the API request again. I guess image URL is fine. Types dot string dot is required. So we need an image. Username. Required. So a lot of this stuff's gotta be the same. So we need a username, user ID, I'm sure this is the URL, user ID, username. What else do we need? We need title. What else do we need? And we need the start time. And this comes in as a string also. I guess I can just do this. Start underscore time. Cool. But if I refresh this, it should complain that I'm not passing in any of these prop types that are expecting over here. What I should be doing is okay, so what we'll be expecting is that this here will be this dot props curly braces. We'll pull out all of these props that we're looking for. Image URL, user ID, username, stop ups. And then now this is the username. And this is going to be the title. I'll skip image at the moment because we are going to use helper method. I'll skip view count also for a moment, and then also this. So we're going to need 3 helper methods to help us build out image size, figure out the number of viewers. Actually, no, hold on. View count is passed in, right? It is. So viewers count. We expect this to be an integer or a number. And this is required. So we could make this. We need to add this to this guy over here. Viewers count. Viewers count. So that should disappear over there. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so for now, let's try passing in what we're expecting to be passed in. So we are passing in. Let's bring this up so we can see. So we're expecting to be given username. And this comes off of the user dot. Username, I believe. No, it is not. Okay. So a little wrench in the plan here. The username we don't know yet. For now, we'll just pass in the user ID. We're gonna have to do a separate API request to figure out the username for this guy, which is annoying. Okay, so we need to get username, user ID. Actually, instead of writing this all out here, I am going to build it out right over here. Place this up here, this over here, just a colon, comma, separate this, change this to a colon also, oops, and then go user underscore ID, started at user.started at. So image user ID, username, title, start time, erase counts. So the last one is just image URL. Image underscore URL. User dot thumbnail URL. Almost there. After I finish this, then we're going to be calling it for the day. As pest props. So I handle can't find variable user and build live users. Oops. Reload. Reload. And then we have to pass the props in. Promise rejection, unrecognized token. There we go. Alright, so we pass in all the props. 2 viewers. Yep, seems about right. Okay, so we hit a good stopping point for now. What do we have to do next? To do. So our to do action is image helper. What's that actually make it? So the image size. Live duration. And I think those are the two. Let's see. Yeah, those are the two we need. Okay, so for the stream, we are using database. We're using one of the cards to show stuff. We mocked out and built out like a little card to look good, and now we're fetching from Twitch API and getting information of who's live. Next, we'll have to keep on improving on the card and build it better. So